Welcome, wrestling fans, to the PW Fan. The PW Fan is a pro wrestling podcast created by fans for fans, and we appreciate you joining us for episode 14. I am your host, representing the old school wrestling fan, Tim Gilbert.
And I'm your host, the architect of pro wrestling podcasts, Andy.
I'm also your host, the no-selling wrestling indie fan, Jeremy.
All right, guys, we got another action-packed show today. Today we're going to be talking about Johnny Gargano and Kyle Reilly. We're going to be talking about unfortunate circumstances regarding Jeff Hardy, Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns at WWE Day 1, and our AEW Dynamite review. But first, right now, please like and subscribe to the PW Fan on YouTube, where we have full episodes posted. And if you could, please leave us a review on iTunes. It really helps us out, and we appreciate it so much. For t-shirts, you want to go to prowrestlingtees.com/thepwfan to get your pocket logo shirt. All right, now that we got all the plug stuff out of the way, let's start the show. Andy, what do you want to get into first, man?
Alrighty, so first I want to talk about Kyle Reilly and Johnny Gargano leaving NXT, or I believe they are. This past weekend was Wargames. I'm not really going to talk about that too much, but Von Wagner and Kyle Reilly teamed up against Imperium for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Imperium ended up winning, and at the end, Von Wagner went to attack Kyle, but Kyle, you could say, saw it coming and got the best of Von Wagner, and then threw up the Undisputed Era sign with his hands. So I thought that was interesting. The following Tuesday, the opening match was Von Wagner versus Kyle Reilly in a cage match that Von Wagner won and threw the steel cage door in Kyle's face multiple times. At the end of the night, Johnny Gargano, who had promised at the end of Wargames to talk to the NXT universe, got on the mic. You know, I guess he pretty much said that he doesn't know what his future holds. He just knows in February he's going to become a dad. He was thanking the NXT universe for his, I believe, 6 years there. And afterwards, Grayson Waller came out and attacked him with a chair. But online, after NXT went off the air, online, some of the dirt sheets, I guess you could say, were showing pictures of, basically it seemed like Gargano and Kyle were saying goodbye to, people like Shawn Michaels, and there was a lot of photos of them hugging people goodbye and even some crying going on. So, if you could speculate, it seems like both are leaving NXT for right now. We'll have to see what, their future holds. But what do you guys think? Where would you like to see them go if they do leave?
Yeah, I think definitely for Kyle Reilly, I think he's gone. Like, I think they already see the, storyline building in AEW. That's why he wants to go there. But Johnny Gargano, I really thought that when he said that he was going to announce, what's going to happen to him on the NXT, and it's like a farewell, basically. But WWE usually never allows people to do that, unless it's like, a Daniel Bryan situation. But I feel like he was staying until you saw the after the show clips of them crying and kind of like sitting in the ring and taking it all in. I was like, well, he could actually be leaving now. Like, and he could be taking time off for his kid that's coming pretty soon. So who knows? But yeah, definitely for Kyle Reilly, I think he's gone.
Yeah, I mean, the obvious thing is, I'm thinking AEW, right? Like, that's what we all want to see. Well, that's what I want to see. But, yeah, you just don't know. And I thought Kyle Reilly putting up the Undisputed Era sign was so cool. I don't know. I love when they cross over and into bleed into different companies, because it's one of those things where I've seen people complain during Dynamite that, they make too many WWE references. We all know what's going on. And, like, to acknowledge it, I feel like is okay. It just makes the wrestling world more fun to talk about. So I have no problem with them, if that was a shout out to Adam Cole saying what's up to him or something like that, or just being thankful for the whole Undisputed Era run. I thought that I like things like that in wrestling, so I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I mean, now you have Bobby Fish and Adam Cole both in AEW. If Kyle goes over there, I mean, the obvious, I feel like, choice is to make them feud with the Elite, Young Bucks
I
and
would
Kenny.
I would love to
I
see
did
it.
see today, Tony Khan, I think it'd be awesome. Tony Khan,
Over who can have possession of Adam Cole. They both want him.
Tony Khan did say recently, I read online that he sees Adam Cole, eventually being the biggest star. I don't know if any of you saw that, but the man that owns the company has seen it that way, so it'd be logical to eventually see him feud with Kenny.
Can I just go on a quick thing? We'll get into it with Dynamite stuff. If he really feels that way, and Adam Cole is supposed to be their biggest guy at some point, they better start treating him like him. I swear, he's like the third wheel to the Young Bucks now. It's like weird. He's always just like pandering behind him and stuff. So maybe that's part of the story. Long-term storytelling. We'll see. Maybe he's like, hey, I'm Adam Cole, baby. I'm nobody's sidekick or something. I don't know. But we'll see what happens. But that's interesting that Tony said that. I actually did not hear about that.
Well, it would be interesting if, while Kenny's gone, Adam Cole kind of rises up as a leader, and then there's confrontation. Kind of like when Kenny and Cody feuded in the Indies and stuff about who's the real leader of the Bullet Club. But guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Oh, just on another note too, I always love how, like you said, Tim, that the wrestlers have past wrestling lives basically in AEW still. Like, they talk about what they've done in other companies, which it just makes it feel more real and relevant to them, rather than just saying like they're starting out in a new wrestling career, just joining the company when everyone knows they've been wrestling for 10 years.
So my thing, again, I'm the old school wrestling fan. So in ECW, Steve Austin and Shane Douglas would always reference, this is not a new concept. Like, this is something that works and that has been done in wrestling for the last 40 years. So, like, for instance, when Shane Douglas and Steve Austin were in ECW, they used their bad experience in WCW as fuel for their character to become baby faces, and they would always trash. Stone Cold would say, and I fired him on the phone just like Eric Bischoff, and then he would reference Eric Bischoff, and Shane Douglas would always talk about how he hated Ric Flair and that he was an old man who held him down. And if you guys haven't seen any of that old Shane Douglas promo stuff, it's something to be heard. He's dropping F-bombs left and right. It's pretty intense. But I think it's a good thing. I think like you said, we all know what's happening. We all know people have worked other places and gone by different character names. So why not just, instead of making it silly and pretending that we don't know, just say it?
Well, WWE's the only place, it seems like, that doesn't happen. Because they either change their names, they want to make the superstars their own. Seems like everywhere else, it's all one connected universe, and then there's WWE.
There's the WWE universe.
Back to the Kyle O'Reilly stuff. I mean, I think most people know, if they've read, that Roderick Strong did sign another contract, so he won't be going over. So if Kyle does go to AEW, it will just be the original Undisputed Era group, if they even group together over there. So
Roddy's older.
Well, they have to if he goes over there.
I mean,
that'd be such a missed opportunity.
Roddy's older. I'm not saying not Kyle Reilly, but Bobby Fish is older too. But Roddy's older, and maybe we don't know. Maybe he doesn't want to wrestle a lot more time, and maybe he's like, I'm just gonna make as much money as possible, so I can get out and do whatever I want. I guess we'll see, but you never know the reasons why people do things.
Well, on that note, I want to talk about this, but I'm bummed it happened. So you guys want to talk about the
Just
Jeff
rip
Hardy
it
stuff?
off. Yeah. Talk about Jeff Hardy.
All right. So, you guys can fill in any details that I don't cover. So there was a house show. It was the Bloodline, including Roman Reigns, against Drew McIntyre, Jeff Hardy, and Xavier Woods. Throughout the match, Jeff Hardy started looking really sluggish, and at the end of the match, I don't think he celebrated in the ring. He just went out into the crowd and went backstage. From what I've read, after that incident, he was replaced in the match the next night, same match, next night in Corpus Christi with Rey Mysterio, and he was kicked off the tour. A couple days later, we all find out, or actually today, technically, we found out that Jeff Hardy has been released by WWE. They offered him rehab and he refused it. So Jeff Hardy is no longer under contract.
How do you feel?
Yeah, what's
about
your
that?
guys' initial thoughts? How do I feel? Well, being a big Jeff Hardy fan, it's
Well, he's like
man,
one
it
of your
sucks.
favorite wrestlers.
Like, there's a
if
lot of
not
things I was
your-
looking forward. Yeah, I mean, he especially back in the day. God, I mean, there's a lot of wrestlers out there that he's been an influence to. Today I saw, he had a lot of support from Damian Priest, Big E, Big Swole, Cedric Alexander, his brother Matt Hardy, Leo Rush, even Virgil. All these people were saying nothing but positive things about him and that they, support him and wish him best of luck. It seems like he's one of those people that's like such a good person but has this demon that he can't seem to get away from. Now, they didn't, I mean, I know his recent stuff are like the DUI, so maybe he had drinking, but it also could have been drugs like his past stuff. You never know. They never really specified. It's just that he was offered some sort of rehab. And he denied it. Maybe I was thinking about it. Maybe he feels like he can tackle it on his own, and maybe it was just a one-time mess up. He's been good this long. Maybe he just needs some supportive family. I don't know. Or I mean, as weird as it is to say, could he have won it maybe out of his contract and he thought he was good to go? He'd be fine by himself, so he also denied rehab that way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if he's like, yeah, I can beat it, but also I could get out of this contract if I wanted to. I mean, I don't know where his head's at, but I do know that, I mean, based off the Broken Skull sessions, he had some stuff he wanted to do. He wanted to feud with Roman. Edge had said something about wanting to do, one more feud with Jeff Hardy, that he felt like they kind of had to do it while both were there. I don't know. It's a bummer.
Stuff like this definitely isn't something that you can take lightly. And my concern is like, just honestly, is more outside of wrestling, is like a human to human. Like, not that he knows me, but I've been a fan of his for 20 years. I hope he's okay, and I hope that if he does need help, I'm not gonna say he does or doesn't. I don't think that's fair. But if he does need help, I hope that he gets it and he figures out what's going on with him, because seems like a really nice person. He just has a lot of personal issues. It sucks.
Well, you've met him before. I've met him with you also. He was always
Dude, he was
super
like one of the
nice
coolest
to us,
wrestlers.
at least.
Yeah, it was like, I've met him twice, and the time where we met him together was my favorite. But they were so nice. They were so cool.
Yeah, I mean, this is tough too because he was going on a good run.
He really
like,
was.
In
Yeah,
terms
he was
of,
trying.
like,
He was finally getting
him,
a push.
Yeah, he was thinking like this would be his last run, and he wanted to make it the best one. So that's tough. The tough part for it, because like, it's all the what could have been things. And I know it's like, it doesn't really matter right now, like where he goes to next or what happens in his wrestling career, because hope that he's like fine first of all. But maybe, I don't know, maybe being with his brother in his wrestling career is probably what's, might be best for him, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I really hope if he honestly does need help and doesn't feel like he can do it just with the support of his family and stuff, then he gets help. Maybe the guy just needs a break. I think about. I was talking this with a buddy today, but I think about. I wonder if he feels pressure to kind of do the things that his 20-some-year-old body would do, and has these expectations, and so he does them, and then really in the long run, it's not doing him any good. But we never know what's really going on with people, mental health wise or pain wise. Especially someone so closed off like Jeff Hardy. I mean, I doubt even some people that are close to him really know what's going on.
Yeah, and also everything he's been through already. I mean, it has to be tough.
It's obviously his choice in the end, but if he just said like openly like if there was a thing where he said to fans like, guys, I just can't do this anymore, like I think like any like understanding human being would be like, dude, it's cool. Like,
I think we'd all understand.
Like
yeah,
you've done like everything, man. It's all good. Like your body is like beat up, man. You can just relax.
Yeah. It just I was thinking, it's just weird timing wise because I had just watched last week the Broken Skull sessions with him, and in it he says, he's like, this is my last chance. Yeah. He said, this is my last chance, if I mess it up, like, it's over. And then a week or so later, it happened.
They were about to give him the big push. It was happening.
Well, like I texted you guys in the group chat, apparently Roman and Heyman were, all down to do a program with Jeff Hardy.
Makes it even worse. You know it was going to happen then.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they have, some leverage. The rumor was if it was going to happen, it would be either the Rumble or the next Saudi pay-per-view, which
aren't too far.
Exactly. So, and he apparently had been wanting to feud with Roman during this run. So, in the end, whether he even goes back to wrestling or not, that's okay. I just, I think we all hope that he's good in the end. But moving on to the actual shows this week, let's get into SmackDown. So SmackDown opened with Brock Lesnar returning. He comes out, gets on the mic. All of a sudden, it's not too long into his promo that Sami Zayn's music hits. Pat McAfee says, quote unquote, "What an idiot." It just made me laugh so hard just because he said it so seriously. I'm like, why would you interrupt Brock Lesnar right now? But they get to talking. Brock basically says, I have the slightest idea who you are. All throughout the promo between them, he's super sarcastic. At one point, he faces the camera with Sami Zayn, has his arm around his shoulder, and he says, I can see it now, kid. Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. Look at the bright lights, kid. Eventually, Brock, quote-unquote, convinces Sami to fight Roman in the main event. Really, he just threatened him. Throughout the entire night, Brock is hilarious backstage. He's super sarcastic. As we were saying to each other, I don't know where this Brock has been, but he doesn't need someone like Heyman to talk for him. Maybe when he first came back to WWE after his UFC career he did, but this Brock I could watch every week and be completely entertained.
This Brock could be the best version of Brock we've ever seen.
It's so good. I'm all here for it. The main event, though, was Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. Sami Zayn comes out. Brock comes out because he said he was going to watch the match. Before the match even starts, Brock destroys Sami Zayn with a couple suplex. He takes Sami to Suplex City. He does 2 F5s. Then Roman comes out, beats Sami Zayn very quickly. And now it's set for day one. It is Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. What do you guys think?
I'm hyped. Let's go, Roman.
It's going to be a great match. They always have. I mean, this is like the 20th time they're facing each other, but it's still going to be a great match.
I feel like this is just the start of their program. I can totally see it going to WrestleMania. Yeah.
Well, especially how Brock's character is so different now. And I just find it more interesting compared to, whenever they fought those, like, was it 4 WrestleManias in a row, it feels like?
Yeah, that was during the babyface Roman, which was my least favorite incarnation of Roman. So
yeah,
Did you guys see the red lei that Roman wears is the same one that Umaga wore?
Yes, did you send
that's
that in
right.
group chat? I remember seeing that. I had no idea.
That's cool. Now that I know that, I'm like, that's even more cool.
I mean, it makes sense.
It feels like that's probably like a Heyman touch, I think.
Umaga was his brother, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. One other thing from SmackDown is Charlotte Flair has now begun a new feud, and it is with Toni Storm. So we'll have to see where that goes, but Tony's been on the roster for a couple months now, and this is kind of the first time I feel like she's done really anything. She's actually really good. I watched her when she was in NXT UK, and she had some great matches with Rhea Ripley. But I feel like, talent-wise, this could be a really good pairing.
Hopefully she's allowed to wrestle the same way.
Yeah, just have to wait and see. You never know when people get called up
'Cause
from
like,
NXT.
Dewdrop from UK, it's totally different.
Piper Niven. She is not Dewdrop. On to Rampage, which came on right afterwards. The only thing I want to talk about was the opening match, and I just wrote one thing down, and that was Tony Nese versus Sami Guevara for the TNT Championship was awesome. This match could have closed the show, but it opened it, and it was just a banger, start to finish. I think we had talked about.
I just have to say that Tim called it last time.
Yeah, I mean, I remember bringing up. I was like, I don't think I've seen too much of Tony Nese's stuff, and Tim had said that he was really, really good, and this match definitely solidified that.
I know good wrestling when I see it.
But Sami Zayn did retain, so congrats to him. But yeah, if you guys haven't seen this match, it was a great opener for Rampage. Rampage, I noticed, even though it is a pre-tape show, has some awesome matches they put on there. That, I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
You want people to tune in to watch it, so you put some good matches on there. Most of Punk's matches, I think, were on there at the start of his signing.
Yeah, it's a hard time slot too. 10 p.m. on a Friday night. That's not a lot of people.
That's a
watch
brutal
it.
spot.
Yeah, just on a Friday, who's sitting at home? I mean, plenty of people are, but
I guess we are.
Barbers
but
gotta be up
so
on
Raw
Saturday,
this
brother.
week. This is true. Yeah, Saturdays are my weekend. So Raw this week, there was only one thing I really wanted to talk about, and that was the Miz TV segment with Edge and the Miz. Another good back and forth promo between the two. But this set up Miz versus Edge at the Day 1 pay-per-view. I originally had thought that it was going to be Miz and his wife, and then Edge versus his wife. But no, it looks like they're going with just one-on-one wrestling match between Miz and Edge. So
It could still lead to that though. They
Yeah.
might do like a rematch or something. Maybe could still go.
tied into WrestleMania, put on the grandest stage of them all.
This person on Twitter made me laugh the other day. They put up a thing of the Miz, and they were like, no, it was a picture of Maurice, in a bikini or something, and it's like, we can all say what we want about the Miz, but in the end, he's the real winner. I was like, oh my god, so stupid.
So it looks like Day 1 so far is, as far as I can remember, is Miz versus Edge, Big E versus Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens, and Brock versus Roman Reigns. So far, pay-per-view sounding pretty good.
It's not bad.
No, not at all. But, all right, guys, you want to get into this week's Dynamite?
Let's go.
Enter in Bizarro World.
Bizarro World. It was Bizarro World. So Dynamite was in Long Island, New York this week. And Long Island, New York is the hometown of MJF. I saw someone in the crowd that said Ms. Jacob Freeman as the acronym for MJF. But
There are some great signs.
there really were. I saw a less famous Miz sign and a couple of other ones.
Yeah, the My Jewish Friend.
yeah, yeah, I forgot about that one. So the show opens up with MJF's music, Crowd cheers, but out comes CM Punk instead.
Well, right before this, hold on. When we were texting before the show, and when Tim was like, "There's no chance that they cheer MJF," and I was like, "I don't know about that." And then as soon as this music hits, it's a pop, and I was like, "Let's go."
There's a couple fans in the crowd that weren't about him, but I think a majority of the fans were. There was a couple. Maybe a couple guys.
They got to be a character on Dynamite. They got to play the bad guy.
Yeah, they were the heel crowd.
So yeah, MJF's music hits. CM Punk comes out instead, gets booed. Punk gets on the mic. I think overall, the whole theme of him being on the mic was him basically being like, "This is your guy," and then like giving examples of like how shitty he is, and he was really going hard. He was going hard at the Long Island Islanders hockey team. Just dissing a bunch of their sports celebrities, and
he was loving it.
Oh yeah, he was saying that Chicago was way better at like booing the heel over there. It was funny. The whole time I'm watching, I was like, when is MJF gonna come out? But he never did. It was just Punk. Yeah. In a way, it felt like Shawn Michaels being in Montreal.
Yeah.
Who's your daddy, Montreal? Classic. When he came back,
what you guys think of the Punk segment? What you guys think about him getting booed? When Michaels came back to Montreal?
Oh, no, when he was feuding with Hogan.
Saying?
Yeah, he was feuding with Hogan in 2005. And when he was like kind of being the bad guy during that feud.
I remember that actually.
Yeah, he came back to Montreal and everybody was booing him. And he looked at the crowd and he just said, "Who's your daddy, Montreal?" And then Bret Hart music plays. And everybody freaks out, and then he's like,
yeah, okay, I remember now.
He's like, "I got you guys."
He starts laughing, right?
Yeah. He's like, "I got you a little excited there, didn't I?"
No, that was good. So what you guys think about the promo?
The thing that I loved about this is that everyone was so focused on, like, what if MJF comes out to Punk's music in Chicago, and no one even thought about Punk doing this in Long Island. And then he walked out, and I was like, immediately, this is amazing.
Yep.
This is going to be the great opener. The whole time, I feel like Punk was like, let me see how many times I can trash the Islanders, the hockey team, and compare it to the Blackhawks in Chicago. It was like, he just kept pushing them. And I was like, whenever he does turn heel, this is going to be amazing.
For sure.
Like, full on heel.
Thoughts, Tim?
Loved it. Thought it was awesome. It was weird to see Punk play the bad guy, but yeah, if he wants to, he could still do it, even when he's just kind of kidding around. His kidding around is better than most heels.
Right, yeah.
So after that segment, we had the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royale. I believe the first entrance, maybe...
Well, we had the MJF video package before then.
Oh, God,
Remember
where they're
that?
saying he... God...
It was at his old high school, and he was like,
he's a two-time
the captain
All-American
of the acapella group.
Captain of the acapella group.
He got all the women. Like,
Yeah.
he never lost a wrestling match. He's wearing his Letterman's jacket. Like,
And then he came out after that.
So then the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal started. MJF's like I think the only entrance they really showed, and he comes out to his music but does a parody of Punk's entrance.
And he was like crying too. Like, was that? You think that was like fake tears?
Probably. He got down on the two knees. He was looking around. He got up, did the clobbering time thing, and then did the swerving of the wrist like Punk does, and just kind of made a gesture to the camera like, "Oh," kind of thing.
And then he went to the crowd and did like kind of like
leaning up against the crowd. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
MJF's awesome. I love this feud.
Yeah.
The match wasn't bad though. It was kind of fun. we got to see Leo Rush and Dante Martin face to face after Dante had signed with them with Team Taz. I'm trying to think what else went down. Wardlow being face to face with Hobbs.
Oh, Hobbs.
Those are two big boys. Let me tell you. Let's see what else. Matt Hardy had a spot with someone.
Just stayed in the corner the entire time.
Matt Hardy had a spot with someone, but I can't remember. I just remember seeing. I was like, maybe he's gonna feud with this guy now, but. So in the end, there wasn't one winner. There were two, and it was Dante Martin and MJF. It came down to Dante Martin and Ricky Starks, and MJF, but Ricky Starks and Dante Martin are both on Team Taz. Dante Martin eliminated Ricky Starks and takes off the FTW armband. So maybe he was just swerving them the whole time. At least that's what it seemed like. Taz was on
It's a horrible swerve.
Taz was on commentary and seemed to be pissed about it. So I guess that's the direction they're going. What did Dante Martin get out of swerving him? Nothing. It was literally like a week or two, like if that. It didn't make any sense.
He didn't even go back to like Leo Rush or anything.
Like I don't know, but
the other thing was that MJF threw Wardlow out. I think for the third time in a row. Like every single time they have this battle royal, I think it's like the third time in a row that he's tossed out Wardlow with a bunch of other guys.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did toss out. It was So yeah, God, it was two.
It was Lee Johnson and another guy. I forget who it was.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who was in the battle royal to begin with. But yeah, he tossed out two people that Wardlow I think was trying to toss out. So by tossing them out, he also tossed out Wardlow. And I mean, I think it's obvious. Eventually, there's going to be a feud between MJF and Wardlow. They've had little moments like this of, MJF taking advantage of Wardlow being his bodyguard.
It's been a great slow burn.
Yeah, no,
because you get each time it's like Wardlow gets closer and closer.
Because it's not an every week thing. It's an every maybe a few times a year, if that kind of thing, where MJF screws over Wardlow, and it's slowly building to eventually, they're gonna part ways and probably feud, and then Wardlow at that time might end up being the star, for all I know.
Probably will. I mean, I like this entire match though because MJF was sitting in the corner
behind the ropes. He was sitting down, but behind the ropes on the outside.
Hey, who?
Yeah, and he went through the middle, so it's like you can't just toss him out either.
Who was the British guy that Cody wrestled?
Anthony
Ogogo, yeah.
Hey, whatever happened to him? I'm gonna bring him up every episode until we find out what happened to him.
I heard something. I either heard something while watching their shows, or I thought he was back maybe on Dark or Elevation. But I mean, I know at the time of their match he was very green. I don't know why they had a match with such a.
Because America, dude.
Rookie, but yeah, whatever. America versus Britain.
We have to fight the British again.
But so yeah, with this battle royal, there was two winners. It was Dante Martin and MJF, which sets up their match at next week's Dynamite, which is Winter is Coming. And so it's gonna be Dante Martin versus MJF. MJF is basically defending his Dynamite Diamond, and yeah, so that sets up their match.
Right, yeah.
Afterwards, Ricky Starks starts beating up Dante Martin for turning on him. MJF's at the top of the ramp, look. It was great. He was looking back. He's like, should I? The whole time I'm thinking, I was like, he's not gonna play a good guy real quick. And so he's looking back. He's like, I don't know. Finally, he books it in there, gets in Ricky Starks' face. But what do you know? Both of them just start beating up Dante.
It was hilarious.
Perfect.
I loved it.
MJF is so good. It was so good.
Yeah.
Because it had me believe him. I really thought he was about to start fighting Ricky Starks.
Yeah, me too. But the crowd still cheered it every single time, and they said one more time, kick him.
Yep.
And then he just went back and kicked him. The crowd went wild.
So while they're attacking Dante Martin, CM Punk runs out, but they clear the ring. So.
That was a heavy booze this time.
Yes. Man, Long Island, as much piece of shit MJF is. They really do love him over there.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone knows any from Long Island, but
But
they would boo with Punk.
again, Punk's yelling to the crowd during this time, "This is your guy."
The PW fan just wants to say that we love our Long Island listeners.
But we know you love MJF.
Yeah,
Which
even though
is
you like
okay.
MJF,
He's great.
that's fine.
He's fantastic. So our next match was 2.0 versus the Acclaim, or 2.0 teaming up with the Acclaimed versus the Varsity Blondes and Jurassic Express. At the end, Eddie Kingston, towards the end of the match, Eddie Kingston comes out, and grabs Daniel Garcia, who's on the apron trying to distract, takes him out. Just a minute later, Jurassic Express and Varsity Blondes get the pin. Right afterwards, though, Eddie Kingston's walking backstage, yelling at the camera, but you can't hear anything. I don't know if it was so close to the crowd, or maybe the camera was too far away.
He was definitely cutting a promo.
Yeah, he was cutting some promo. I was like, I can't hear a word you're saying, man. But in the middle of that, Garcia and 2.0 come and attack Kingston, who's also with Ortiz, so they're attacking him too. I'm wondering what this sets up, because we know Jericho did help out Kingston before. My question is, does it set up Ortiz and Eddie Kingston with Jericho, or does it set up, Proud and Powerful with Kingston against 2.0 and Garcia? I don't know.
Well, doesn't Eddie have past connections with them because of LAX with Proud and Powerful?
I mean, during TV, all they were saying that they were both New York guys. Is really all they were talking about.
I mean, I think that Eddie managed the old LAX while Santana and Ortiz were the new LAX in TNA.
Well, hey, you're the no-selling indie fan. You would know this better than I would. So after that,
That's what I remember.
After that, we had a backstage promo from FTR and Tully talking about Lucha Brothers, which I think they were talking about having a match this coming Rampage, I think.
Yeah, I think it was Rampage.
And they were saying, no more costumes. It's just going to be a fight between them. After that, we had
Yeah, it was Rampage, yeah, because I thought they would put it on Wednesday.
Yeah, so if you're listening, that will be tonight. I could totally see it either being the opener or the main event of the show. Then we had a match. It was Young Bucks versus Chuck Taylor and Rocky Romero. Your winners in the end were the Young Bucks. And then the Super Click attacks Chuck Taylor and Rocky Romero afterwards, including Orange Cassidy, and Wheeler Yuta comes in. And all of a sudden you see, you hear the Best Friends music, but then you see the minivan of, I think her name is Sue.
It's Sue.
Yeah, Sue comes in, and out comes Trent, shaved head.
Looking like a boss.
He was away for neck surgery. Yeah, he's in great shape.
I think it was.
He's in great shape. He had some kind of neck surgery. He had been out a while, but he comes in, and so now maybe it looks like the real Best Friends are back together.
Did you notice, though?
They ended up playing the music from...
No, I was going to say, did you notice?
Yeah, they ended up playing the music from when Trent and Rocky Romero...
But they also... His character was very, serious. When they, got to give the people what they want and the hug, he just was, very, more, badass about it.
Maybe it's a new trend.
I like that.
It's a new trend. Yeah, no, I mean, I could get down with this version of his character, I feel like.
Really, he was also had a lot of adrenaline in being back. When you first get that.
He got a big pop.
Feel.
People were hyped to see him.
Well, he is one of the best ones out of Best Friends, other than Cassidy.
Yes, 100%, 100%. Yeah. Sorry, Chuck Taylor, but yes,
Yeah.
I enjoy Trent a lot better.
Chuck Taylor was pretty good on the mic, but in terms of wrestling.
Yeah. But yeah, after they cleared the ring, they ended up playing. I don't remember what their group name was, but Trent used to team with Rocky Romero, I believe, over in New Japan. I don't know if Chuck Taylor was there too, with them, but they played their music.
Yeah, I didn't recognize the song.
Yeah, so Found out later that's what that theme song was. I think they said it on commentary, actually. I think Excalibur probably would be the one to know that.
Of course.
Excalibur was like, when I wrestled in Japan,
so
that's the music that they used.
Take the mask off. Anyway. So then we had a backstage interview with Ruby Soho, who was interrupted by the Bunny and Penelope Ford.
And then she gets jumped by
Yeah, so they're talking. They're saying that I think they set up a 6-woman tag team match, and for Ruby to find 2 other friends, but Ruby doesn't have friends, or they say something along those lines. I think.
This was awful.
Because their third Bunny and Penelope Ford's third partner was Nyla Rose, who eventually attacked her as well. Because Ruby's like, "Why don't we start now?"
When she attacked her, though,
She
did you
said,
hear what she
"Yeah,
said?
what did she say?" Oh, I remember. I remember. I didn't like it. I thought it was corny.
She was like, "Surprise, bitch!" And just like elbowed her in the face.
Awful. It was. God. I just sat back in my chair. I was like,
like,
God.
I love Ruby
That made me
Soho.
laugh so hard, though.
I love Ruby Soho, but she like did an elbow that I was like, oh my god, not even close. Like it was like so far away.
Yeah.
Oh, to the bunny. Yeah. God. So that led into Sami Guevara at the top of the ramp being interviewed by Tony Schiavone. And then Cody Rhodes interrupts. So the interview was about an open challenge, I believe, for the TNT Championship.
Yep.
And Cody Rhodes comes
was
out
like, "I'm in it."
and interrupts and says that he's going to get it. And I didn't realize until today, I texted you guys in our group chat that we have, that this will actually be a rematch from the very first Dynamite match on television.
Okay, that's cool.
Didn't know that either.
The very first match of Dynamite ever was Sami Guevara versus Cody Rhodes. Had no idea at the time who Sami was, where he was going to end up,
He was wearing the panda mask.
Yeah, where he was going to end up, 2-3 years later.
Forgot about that.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think the next week he was already paired up with Jericho. Like,
yeah.
but I remember it being a good match, and he was really good. I was just, at the time, I had no idea who he was. And so it's kind of cool to see how far, I mean, Cody's, kind of in the same, like, he was already a known name. But it's cool to see how far Sami's come from then to now. So I think, is that also going to be a Winners Coming?
Yeah.
Okay. That's going to be a good show then.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to, like,
And it was, you see Cody tease, like, going towards the heel entrance.
oh, that was hilarious.
Oh, when he walked almost to the heel entrance.
Yeah.
Think about where you were when the first Dynamite happened. No, think about like if you remember the first Dynamite and
I was
how
at your
you,
house, Tim.
right? But like all these wrestlers, right? Like obviously we knew the Bucks. I knew Hangman Page and Jericho, Kenny Omega. There's a lot of guys that I didn't know. I mean, they've done a great job of building. Like when I look at some of these guys, like a Sami Guevara. To me, he was the guy with the weird haircut, and he came out with a panda thing on it, and I was like, this is weird. I don't like this. And, like, 2 years, dude, he's awesome. So they've really, like, had great character development.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah, so they've done a great job with building stars over the last few years.
And if I'm not mistaken, Darby's first match was with Cody as well.
Yep.
Yeah, that the first Fyter Fest, I think it was.
Yep, so... to think about both those guys. I mean, I think I was with Tim during that. We were actually at his father-in-law's house watching Fyter Fest, but I remember liking Darby right away. And I think Tim did too after seeing that match. I mean, I didn't like the risk he was taking. He did the coffin drop onto the side of the ring on the apron. Yeah, it was rough.
I remember being like, God.
Like, you don't need to do that, but it is crazy though. I mean, both those guys, like, to see where they have ended up. They really are, as Punk's been talking about, two of the pillars of the company.
What do you guys think about Cody challenging though? Because I feel like it's kind of random. Like all of a sudden, he's challenging for the TNT title.
He gets a little bit of a cheer in his home state, and he thinks that he can just come out and challenge for the TNT
Goes through
championship.
some fire.
Also, were those burns on him? His arms were pretty like messed up. Yeah.
Yeah, those were from last week.
God.
But I did like in the promo though when he did it, he was like from good guy to good guy, and everyone's like, "You're not a good guy."
And then that's when he faked walking into the heel entrance. Was right after he said the good guy to good guy.
Yeah.
So that whole interruption with Cody and him accepting a challenge led to a promo from Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky up in the audience. To me it felt pointless. Just basically saying that, of course Cody gets, the first shot. And
guess what? Dan Lambert's
in the
coming
top
back.
5. In the top 5 was, he brought up
Tim's favorite person.
God. And they said how Scorpio Sky was in the top 5 ranking. Why not him? I haven't seen shit from Scorpio Sky lately, so I don't. Maybe it's a Dark and Elevation stuff. I have no idea.
Boring.
But
that is the thing. If you don't watch Dark or Elevation, then all of a sudden you see these guys come on TV and they're like 24-10 record, and you're like, I haven't seen them at all in Dynamite. Like, where are you wrestling?
That's how I felt about the Gun Club. They're like 18-0. I'm like, what?
Some of those AEW guys, look, I like AEW, and I'm not going to speak for you guys, but they are, like, some of them, the guys that you don't know who they are, it's like, you're boring, bro. Like, you haven't shown me anything yet that I'm like, oh, yeah, this is awesome. Like, Scorpio Sky, okay, he does a cool
I actually used to really like Scorpio Sky.
Yeah, but then what have you done for me
Yeah,
lately?
I used to really like him. I never thought his promos were great, but this is true. Yeah, have bad matches with Dan Lambert. That's what you've done for me lately. Men of the Year.
Horrible. And who wants to see that? There was we're bringing Dan Lambert back. Everybody was like, boo.
Please no. Please no. I'd rather watch more Matt Hardy and Orange Cassidy.
Not even Long Island wanted that.
So after that, we had Jamie Hayter versus Riho, which was announced last week. Your winner was Riho. This was, clearly a match to continue the feud with Britt Baker and Riho, which is their match also for winners coming?
I think so.
Okay. One thing I just realized we forgot to mention is that during the CM, I know this is way far back in our podcast. Sorry guys, but CM Punk basically said he's next in line for the title. We didn't talk about that during his promo. He said
the winner of them.
He said the winner of Hangman and Bryan Danielson. He said I want next.
That's as direct as it's been since he got here for the title.
So that's super exciting. I think either winner would be a great pairing for CM Punk. Well,
do you want to see Hangman and MJF, or do you want to see Danielson and Punk?
Let's be honest. We want to see Danielson and Punk.
But that means both of them are going to lose. Like Hangman's going to lose the title.
I know.
You
know. I don't think it's the right time to take the belt off of Hangman.
There's some basement dweller right now that's like,
no, I would actually like to see MJF and Hangman.
Look, I want to see CM Punk versus Danielson. It doesn't have to be for the title, but that's just what they're maybe setting up. That's all. You could,
or maybe they both lose and then somehow
it's a triple threat.
Yeah.
So that put triple threat between them, then really put Hangman over by beating these two top guys.
Over as a heel.
Yeah, fans would be pissed. So after the Riho Jamie Hayter match, we had a video package from Serena Deeb and Hikaru Shida, which I believe they are also having a match at Winter is Coming. This feels like it's going to be a long show. I don't know how they can fit some of this stuff in within 2 hours, but
it's still a 2-hour show, but yeah.
2-hour show. It's going to be no backstage promos. It's just going to be match at them. It's almost like a mini pay-per-view, I think, is what it was last time.
Yeah.
We had a Varsity Blondes interview that was very short. They're at the ramp, on the top of the ramp with Tony Schiavone, and they barely get to speak. lights go black, and Malachi Black appears and sprays mist in Julia Hart's face. I have no idea where this is going, guys.
I know Tim loved this segment, right?
I loved it. I was like, yes, get them out of here.
You're like, get rid of these cheerleaders and jocks. Though we do like Brian Pillman Jr., but
Yeah.
I have no idea why. Why are you pairing Malachi Black with them? I don't get it.
That'd be great if his new thing is he
Just
just
so I
starts
didn't
misting
know-
everybody. He's like,
Yeah. But for the mist, apparently doesn't it like he's supposed to like turn them evil, but it hasn't
that what
done
that was?
to anyone.
I like when he got
Because all he did to Pac was spray his eye.
I like when he sprayed Arn on the top of
he
his
also
bald
sprayed
spot.
like Cody like 3 different times.
So his miss is supposed to be like Bray Wyatt's Fiend's hurt heel gloves. He would
Yeah.
pick a glove and they would either turn bad or whatever.
But no one's turned at all. So
Yeah, Pac was already kind of an asshole and he just got an eye patch.
yeah, and then Cody, is fine the next week because he's Cody.
Do we have an update on Arn
We'll see where
after the
this-
fall?
He's probably good. I don't think we've heard anything, but
It's very sad to
They're gonna like
watch.
drive him down to the ring now.
I saw Mick. Speaking of updates, Mick Foley went to visit JR, I believe. I think JR is doing okay.
Yeah, my boy JR.
Yeah, since he posts it every day.
I believe the original. I believe the original plan is for him to be back the 29th, unless that's changed.
Yeah, 29th of January.
I thought it was December. I thought it was like a month of chemo basically he was doing, because he's been out since the end of November. But I could be wrong.
I could be.
Sassafras.
I don't know.
Sassafras. He's got a family. Anyway, so our main event of the evening was Bryan Danielson versus John Silver, a.k.a. Johnny Hunky. Look, I love John Silver. I think he's great. But your winner was Bryan Danielson. Danielson gets on the mic. He even calls John Silver Johnny Hunky while he's on the mic, which is fantastic. It says how he was talking about all of the other Dark Order members and how he kicked their heads in, and then he realizes he hasn't kicked in John Silver's head. I don't remember. Did he start attacking John Silver and then Adam Page comes running out? Or
Yeah,
okay,
he started kicking his head in, and then
so he did get to actually attacking him, and Adam Page runs out. Danielson just leaves the ring, I believe, and so next week we finally get the two. And
well, Hangman says, "I'm gonna stomp the cowboy shit out of you."
Okay.
I was like, "All right."
the coward,
work.
shit.
Yeah.
But so yeah, winter's coming. Looks like it's gonna be a nice fun show with pretty good matches. I think. I'm not sure when MJF and CM Punk is taking place. They haven't.
Yeah, it's not next week.
It's not next week because next week is the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal.
Diamond Ring.
But
Yeah.
do you think CM Punk interferes in some way and Dante Martin wins?
I have a
Definitely a
feeling.
possibility.
Yeah. Because then, when would they fight next then? Because the pay-per-view is Revolution. It's not till, what, February?
February and March. It's a long time.
Yeah. So they would have to do it whatever the next
There's no way
special
they can
event
keep
is.
the program going this long.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's-
Maybe they're
there's
just
no
waiting
way.
for, like, just to have that match on one show as, like, the main event for...
Almost
an
kind of
hour.
like Omega and Danielson.
Yeah.
I can see that. Also, hasn't MJF had that ring for like 2 years? If
Yeah,
not
if he
more.
wins it, it'd be like, he would have it for 3 years.
Yeah, if not more. God. But yeah, that wraps up our AEW Dynamite review.
Who do you guys think is going to win? Hangman or Danielson?
There's a difference of who I want and who I think.
Who do you think is going to win?
I think Adam Page is going to retain his title.
I think so, too.
How about you, Tim?
Wild card, bitches. I'm picking Danielson.
God.
He's going to be such a heel then. Like, a main event heel.
Yes.
Tim's here for it. He's
I'm
all
here
here.
for it. Well, guys, that seems like it about wraps up the show for today. If you don't mind, please go to Twitter and Instagram and follow us at the PW Fan, and follow Andy's Funko Pop page on Instagram at the 410 Fan Bros. We appreciate you listening, and join us again next week on the PW Fan Podcast. Bye-bye, everybody.